I was shocked when I secretly discovered lingerie and protection in my unfaithful wife's suitcase before her business trip. However, I forced a smile and said, "Don't stay too long. I have a surprise for you." What she didn't realize was that my revenge was already underway. I had everything: a wife I deeply cherished, a comfortable home, a stable career, and a future that felt secure. My wife, Emily, and I had been together for nearly a decade. We met in college, and from the very beginning, there was something special about her. Her intelligence, her humor, and the way she made me feel understood. It was as if I had found my perfect partner. We built a life that many would envy. I worked as a graphic designer for a reputable firm, while Emily had recently been promoted to director of operations at a prestigious tech company. We had a beautiful home, 2 dogs, and a life that seemed picture-perfect from the outside. But as I would soon learn, appearances can be deceiving. It all started when Emily received an opportunity for a business trip, a chance to attend an elite conference in the city. I was happy for her, but I noticed something unusual. Over the past few months, her behavior had grown distant. She was still kind, still affectionate at times, but something felt different. Her late nights at work became more frequent, and even when she was home, her attention was constantly glued to her phone or laptop. The warmth I once felt in her presence slowly faded, replaced by a growing sense of unease. On the morning of her business trip, Emily was packing her suitcase. I had decided to stay home that day to complete a few projects and allow her to finalize any last-minute preparations. As she packed, I decided to lend a hand, and that's when I saw something that set my heart racing. Hidden beneath her clothes, tucked at the bottom of her suitcase, were lingerie and condoms. A wave of shock hit me instantly. My stomach dropped, and I felt nauseous. But I couldn't react, not yet. I stood there, staring at the incriminating items, my mind racing with questions. What was happening? Why would she need these for a business trip? Deep down, I already knew the answer, but I refused to admit it to myself. The woman I adored, the woman I trusted, was hiding something significant, and I had no idea just how deep this deception went. I couldn't confront her, not now, not like this. Instead, I took a deep breath and forced a smile. "Don't stay too long. Emily, I have a surprise for you when you get back." I kept my tone even, masking the storm inside me. She looked up, a smile spreading across her face. "I'll be back soon. I'll miss you." But I wasn't going to let her know that I knew. Not yet. I wasn't planning on confronting her immediately. Instead, I needed time to strategize, to prepare, to set my plan in motion. It was around the time Emily returned from her trip that I received an unexpected message. It was from James, her boss. I had met James a few times before. He was always friendly and professional, well-respected, and intelligent. I had no reason to suspect he was involved in anything shady. I opened the message, expecting it to be a simple work-related update. Instead, what I read left me stunned. "I know about your wife, Ethan, and I'm sure you're wondering why I'm telling you this. The truth is, I want to help you. I've seen the way she's been acting, and I have proof of her betrayal. She's been seeing someone else. It's not just emotional, it's physical. If you want, I can make sure she pays for what she's done. But there's a price. You owe me one favor." The message was clear. James knew about Emily's affair, and he wanted to help me take her down. But in return, he wanted something from me. One favor. What kind of favor? That was what I needed to figure out. But I couldn't let this opportunity slip through my fingers. I arranged to meet James the next day. We chose a quiet bar, a place where business deals and secret conversations often took place. When I arrived, James was already there, seated in a dimly lit corner, his cold eyes studying me as I approached. "Ethan," he greeted me with a smirk as I sat down. "I'm glad you came. I've been following the situation for a while. I know exactly what's going on, and I want to help you make sure she faces the consequences." I nodded, keeping my emotions in check. I wasn't consumed by anger anymore. I was focused. I had been living in a fog of betrayal and confusion, but now I saw everything clearly. I was ready to take control. James slid a folder across the table. My heart pounded as I opened it, scanning the contents. Inside were photos, email exchanges, and financial records, proof of the affair. But there was more. Evidence that Emily and Lucas, her lover, had been funneling money through corporate accounts. This wasn't just an affair. It was a web of lies, deceit, and financial fraud. This is what I have. James continued. I can make sure everything comes to light, but I need you to do something for me. I raised an eyebrow. What exactly do you mean? I need you to set things in motion. Use these documents to ensure Emily and Lucas get caught. You'll need to plant the seeds. That's the favor I'm asking. I knew what had to be done. Emily and Lucas thought they were invincible, that they could get away with everything without facing the consequences. But I wasn't just going to expose them. I was going to destroy them piece by piece. Consider done, I said, my voice steady. I'll make them regret everything they've done. I understood that vengeance was best served cold, and I had no intention of acting recklessly. Instead, I meticulously planned my retaliation, dedicating the following week to gathering irrefutable proof, leveraging my network of contacts, and carefully orchestrating every detail. When my plan unfolded, it needed to be nothing short of devastating. I initiated my strategy by sending anonymous tips to corporate auditors, directly linking Megan's actions to financial misconduct. The evidence was indisputable, and I ensured it reached the right hands in a way that left no trace leading back to me. The investigators swiftly picked up the trail, and it was only a matter of time before the company began scrutinizing her decisions. Simultaneously, I sowed seeds of doubt among Megan's social and professional circles. Confronting her prematurely wasn't an option. I wanted her to believe she was still in control, that she could conceal her indiscretions. I subtly ensured that whispers of her affair with Lucas reached the ears of those closest to her, never overtly, just enough to make her uneasy. Paranoia would be my greatest ally. As for Lucas, I methodically dismantled his credibility. Calling in old favors, I began circulating rumors about his lack of integrity and questionable business ethics. His reputation started to crumble, but I held back from utterly annihilating him. He needed to believe everything was still manageable. The last thing I wanted was for either of them to become desperate and unpredictable. Weeks passed, and the tension around Megan became palpable. She grew increasingly paranoid, constantly glancing over her shoulder, obsessively checking her phone, and growing wary of the sudden shift in how people treated her. The pressure was mounting, and I watched with satisfaction as the cracks in her confidence widened. Then came the moment I had been meticulously preparing for. On a Friday afternoon, I finally called Megan and requested a meeting, telling her I had something urgent to discuss. She agreed, without hesitation. We met at a cafe, reminiscent of the ones we used to visit when things were good between us. She was already seated when I arrived, forcing a nervous smile. But I wasn't here to give her any false hope of reconciliation. This was my reckoning. I took my seat across from her, my demeanor composed, my heartbeat steady. We need to talk, I said, my voice firm yet controlled. What's going on, Ethan? Why have you been so distant? She asked, her voice quivering slightly. She already knew. I leaned forward, sliding a folder across the table toward her. You've been keeping secrets from me, Megan. She hesitated before picking it up. The moment she flipped it open, her face turned ashen. The affair, the financial fraud, the photographic evidence, every last deception laid bare before her. How long, Megan? My voice, once measured, now carried the sharp edge of betrayal. How long did you think you could keep this up? She opened her mouth, but no words came. Tears welled in her eyes, but I had no interest in her apologies. Not anymore. I'm going to dismantle everything you built, I declared, my tone cold and unwavering. I'm going to expose you and Lucas for exactly what you are. When I'm finished, there will be nothing left. Silence stretched between us as she absorbed the weight of my words. Then I handed her one final piece of paper, a resignation letter from her company. It was already signed, ready for submission. If she didn't comply, I would ensure that every piece of evidence I collected was made public. The aftermath was swift and merciless. Megan was terminated from her position within the week. News of her affair spread like wildfire, reaching not just her colleagues but also her friends and family. The scandal quickly became inescapable, and the revelation of her financial crimes ensured her professional ruin. As for Lucas, his already tarnished reputation crumbled completely. The carefully placed whispers I had initiated grew into undeniable truths, leaving him with nothing but regret and humiliation. Megan tried to reach out, pleading for forgiveness, but her words held no power over me anymore. She had shattered our life together, and now she had to face the consequences of her own treachery. Meanwhile, I moved forward. I rebuilt myself, stronger than before. In the end, my revenge wasn't just about destruction. It was about reclaiming my dignity, my self-worth. Megan thought she could break me, but in the end, it was she who had been broken. I had won, and with that victory, I was finally free. Moral of the story: revenge isn't just about inflicting pain on those who betray you. It's about restoring your own sense of self. The truth always emerges, no matter how deeply buried, and those who deceive will inevitably face the repercussions of their actions. If you enjoyed this tale of calculated retribution, don't forget to subscribe for more ruthless pro-revenge stories. Like and share. Your support means everything. Every story you see is crafted with time, dedication, and heart, made just for you.